Good morning. We will start a new topic in marketing for hospitality and tourism about the consumer behavior. So let's start with this quote. To be a bullfighter, you must first learn to be a bull, which means that you have to understand the way of thinking of this bull and the behavior of this bull so you can fight him and manage this battle. So the same thing in marketing for any company have to understand the behavior of your customers and the way of thinking and so on. So you have to know how do consumers purchase something, how they take the decision to purchase a specific product and so on. So what do you look for when you buy something? For example, what makes you buy an antique piece instead of a regular showpiece? This reflects many behavioral concerns like the consumer culture and lifestyle and income and so on. So companies have to know what the consumers want to buy and when they buy it and why they want to buy it and how often they buy this, how many times and how often they use it. Uh, so our objectives of this chapter to name the elements of a stimulus response model for the consumer behavior and to outline the major characteristics affecting the consumer behavior and finally to explain the buyer decision process. Let's start with the definition of the consumer behavior, which is the decision process, the process of taking the decision, and the physical activity, because this process contains many steps and actions to end up with the final decision. So this process that individuals engage in when evaluating this product, acquiring or buying this product, using this product, and also disposing this good or service by maybe disposing means need to let this product and don't buy it again and so on. So we will see that the consumer behavior is a systematic process and influenced by various factors, many factors. We will see these factors in details that affect the consumer behavior, and also it's different from a customer to another and from a product to another, and also varies across the regions with the consumer behavior different from a place to another and why it is important for the marketeers and how it reflects the customer status and improves the standard of living. So the consumer behavior comprises the behavioral characteristics. The behavioral characteristics exhibited by the consumers in the process of purchasing goods and services. So consumer behavior is studied by the companies. Companies have to study the consumer behavior to create products and marketing strategies. So we have two main reasons for the companies to study the consumer behavior. The first one is the creating products and innovative products, and also to manage their marketing strategy to target the consumers on an ongoing basis, continuously and for the future, and so on. According to the classical definition of the consumer behavior is the process whereby individuals decide what to buy and when, where, how, and from whom they will purchase this product. For example, one of the companies make or study the consumer behavior and find that they prefer the natural products than the manufactured products. So they customized their products to fulfill the requirements or the needs of their consumers. Also, a world global company like Procter and Gamble in the industry of FMCG, which means the fast moving consumer uh, goods. Procter and Gamble, like Unilever and many global companies like this, it understands this company have a lot of products that we can see in this picture. For example, Ariel, the washing powder, Head and Shoulders, Pantene shampoo, Pampers for children or kids diapers and so on. So they understand that the low income consumers tend to buy smaller product packages, and they cannot buy the big or large packages because it's more expensive. So in response to this consumer behavior, the company started to sell small sachets of its products. It make small packages of these products like Ariel washing powder, for example, with a low cost. Also another brands for clothes and fashion and so on, they found that their consumers from the teenagers influenced by one actress or a singer, and so they start to use this public figure as a brand ambassador to influence the teenagers and increase their profits and sales. So now let's see the importance of the consumer behavior. First, an understanding of consumer behavior. The company, when study and understand the consumer behavior, will be useful for them to develop effective campaigns. For example, Dove shampoo focus on all hair types, short hair, long hair, curly hair, and so on, for developing women's hair products instead of the stereotype of long straight hair. And usually the advertisement for hair shampoo, used to use the stereotype of it makes the hair more longer and straight and so on. But now, according to the trend or fashion, they found that women want to be with short hair or curly hair and so on. So they start to develop their campaigns and make many packages, each one for the different style that they want. Second, understanding the consumer behavior also helps the companies to launch innovative products. Like, for example, iPhone 5s with a fingerprint scanner for extra security. They found that the customers needs more security, so they innovate the fingerprint scanner at the iPhone 5s. Third, the knowledge of consumer behavior helps the companies to manage unpredictable market situations. To manage the unpredictable market situation. For example, Tata's news launched car. Tata is an Indian car manufacturer. It launched a new car named Zika, but changed the name because of the global virus. It's called Zika, I think at 2005. So they changed the name of this model to Tiago instead of Zika, because maybe the customers will not prefer to buy a car called with the name of the virus. Like if we imagine now Corona. In Egypt, for example, there is a chocolate product called Corona. I think they will think seriously to change this name. Fourth, consumer behavior helps to track the consumer preferences. For example, PepsiCo introduced 7-Up with lemon soda flavor based on the ongoing consumer trend of switching back to the traditional flavored drinks. Finally, number 5, in the importance of consumer behavior, it helps to create products that sell rapidly. For example, DS Group, a company for making candies and so on, they targeted the unfulfilled consumer demand for mango flavored candies and launched this product called Dolls, a mango candy that generated more revenues within 10 months of its launch. So this is the importance and the definition of the consumer behavior. Now, the features of the consumer behavior. Let's start with the systematic process. The buying decision of the consumers is a systematic process, as we said. There is many steps in this process, like the need identification, the research product information, listing of alternative brands, and evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and finally the post-purchase evaluation. Let's take these steps one by one. First, at the buying decision making process, the customer needs to recognize and identify the problem. To the customer, imagine if you are a customer and you want to take a decision for buying something. So you have to recognize your need and identify the problem that you want to solve. So consumers recognize a need or a problem that has an effect on their daily life. This is driven largely either by realization, the problem identification, or perception to need to recognize this need. For example, a company for water filters called AquaGuard water filters and purifiers act as a need and solution to problem in consumers' routine. When some consumers in any region found that water is not clean or clear and so on, or polluted, so they use these filters to make it better. Second, the selection criteria for decision making. So consumers determine and select the decision making criteria and then decide on the parameters to be considered. After recognizing the problem and the need, they put some criteria and parameters. According to this, they will choose what product to purchase. For example, when a customer decides to purchase a CNG foiled car, CNG for compressed natural gas, foiled car, and car working with natural gas, not benzene. So they consider the criteria such as the price of this car and the company fitted natural gas kit in the car, the price of the natural gas itself in the market, the type of the car, which is small one hatchback or large one sedan, and so on. This is all the criteria and the parameters. Then they search for and evaluation of the alternatives. After setting these criteria, they look for the alternatives. First, a customer selects a product to compare against alternatives that the customer will find. Some of the factors considered when seeking alternatives are competing brands, product specifications, the price of the product, and the features of each product. After preparing a list of these alternatives, the consumer compares these listed products against the original selection, and based on the comparison results, the consumer choose a product they think is best for them. For example, people frequently use websites for e-commerce and so on to compare the prices and alternatives and features of many products before they take the purchasing decision. Then, for the purchase decision, in this step, consumers decide whether they would want to buy this product or not, and the consumer may choose to omit a few of the above mentioned steps when making a buying decision. After making the decision and buy this good, once there is the final stage in the decision-making process, the post-purchase behavior. Post means after. After the purchasing, there is use. You have to use. Once the consumer uses the product after buying it, they will have some feedback about this product, which can be positive or negative. So this feedback is conveyed to the product maker. They will transfer to the product maker through email or phone call or whatever. So the dissatisfaction of the client or the consumer may result in product replacement or return. Maybe they replace the product to him or return the product and take the money and so on. For example, Amazon's customers can provide feedback about their purchase, and customers are supported by a returns and exchange policy. So this was the decision-making process. Finally, the consumer behavior features. We have five main features of consumer behavior. One, the consumer behavior results from interactions between consumers and environmental forces. Also, the consumer behavior is the result of various external factors and environmental forces. For example, to decide which laptop to buy for your master's degree or so on, a consumer seeks the opinions of friends and family and researches products on the internet and tries to select a suitable product. Finally, if he buys the Dell laptop, for example, because the company allows consumers to customize the products based on their requirements and budget. A third feature is the consumer behavior includes the behavior of organizations or groups of the individuals. For example, a stationery product retailer called Staples offers discounts to organizations, yani groups of individuals on bulk purchases for when you going to purchase a large quantity of these products. They make discounts, offer discounts for example, for pens, books, print papers, and so on. So the company considers purchase frequency. They consider the purchase frequency and how many times you will buy, and offers a customized discount according to this frequency. Four, uncertainty is a hallmark of consumer behavior. For example, popular online e-tailer Myntra found that nearly half the visitors to its site abandoned their purchase carts after spending 10 or 15 minutes browsing through various items for reasons unknown. So there is uncertainty is one of the hallmark of the consumer behavior. You go to the website and surfing it for 10 or 15 minutes, and at the end you left your cart and leave the website without buying anything or making any decision. Finally, the consumer behavior provides answers to a variety of questions. For example, the payback loyalty cards record consumers' purchase behavior, such as the frequency of the purchases of smartphones, where the smartphones are purchased from, and the extent of consumers' price sensitivity in purchasing a smartphone. So all this information, when you use your credit card for buying something, these informations are recorded and sent to the producers and the companies of these products. And according to this, yani for example, if they found that most of the consumers buy smartphones from the shopping malls instead of the bazaar, so they will change the location of their branches from the bazaar to the shopping mall and so on. This information provides companies with information related to the consumer behavior. Okay, let's stop for today. So today we talk about the buying decision process and the steps, different steps. We will continue our next lesson, inshallah, about the various factors that affect the consumer behavior and how it is different from customer to another and from product to another, and also it's different from place to another, and how it is important for marketeers and reflects the customer status and improves the standard of living. Okay, thank you and see you next time.